Guess who's back? Yes, I am back, ladies and gentlemen, and I am excited to be making content again. Um, I miss it. I genuinely miss it. I miss everybody who's been supporting me. Even in my absence, I've had people hit me up consistently telling me, hey, when's the next video? When are you pushing out a video? When are you making out content again? And I feel like I want to make this video, no intro, no outro, nothing. I just kind of want to throw this up and really just talk about what's been happening with me and where my journey has been and where I'm going. I've been struggling for the past 3+ years with my weight, most of all. And it's really no one's fault but my own, and I'm fully aware of that, and if I take full accountability of where I ended up. But to kind of preface how I got to this point, I used to be really athletic when I was young. I'm talking not A1 athlete or D1 athlete, whatever. I wasn't a super athlete, but I was very athletic, doing things like marching band, baseball. I did a little bit of boxing training. I did a little bit of football, American football. But I say football, but the truth is it was actually kind of like flag football, because as a musician, I can't get injured. Getting injured means no practice. No practice means no performances. No performances means no exposure. No exposure means no job. So back in the day when I was doing music super heavy, and I was a super heavy, when I was really into music, I had to be very careful how much I worked out. I had to be very careful what activities I did. I would do a lot of safe activities, except for boxing. When I did my minor amount of boxing, I was pretty reckless because I had some anger issues at that time. But moving from then to now, it used to be that I was super active all the time. What ended up changing that, and this is going to sound pretty pathetic, but what ended up changing that was I got to college, and instead of playing basketball with the boys 5 days a week for about 2 hours, which was genuinely how much we played basketball at college, I ended up dating this chick, and that pretty much changed everything, because it was probably, like, even up to this day, one of the most serious relationships I ever had. And I spent a lot of time with this chick. I spent a lot of effort, put a lot of effort into our relationships. Apparently, according to her, I was the very first man in her life who took her out on dates, which baffles me considering that we were like 21, 22 at the time. But ever since then, man, after we broke up, about a year later, it took a toll. What ended up happening was that it kind of started off one step at a time. It was like, oh, I'm gonna not go to play basketball with the boys, and I'm going on a date, which is fine, 100% fine. Then it ended up going from skipping 1 day to skipping 2. And then the more lazy I ended up getting spending time with her, the less I started to do. So it went from going on 1 date on Friday, and like we would get drunk or whatever, to going on a date Friday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Like we got so connected really fast, which was a little bit unhealthy, by the way. But we spent so much time together. We always ended up going out. She was a very wealthy individual. We always went out to eat. We always ate horrible food. I mean, literally horrible food. I still remember the time we went and we binge watched, holy shit, what movie? I think it was like the whole entire series of 50 Shades of Grey, because she was really into it, which men don't ever do that shit. It's not worth it. But we sat there and binge watched the whole series of 50 Shades of Grey, and then at the same time, it wasn't 50 Shades of Teen Wolf. That's what it was. It wasn't 50 Shades. It was Teen Wolf. I won't forget. Teen Wolf. We binge watched all seasons of Teen Wolf, and then while we were binge watching, we were just eating the whole time. Just eating. I stopped exercising. I stopped, taking care of myself. And then over the years, it just built and built and built and built. There would be change. Like, there would be times where I would go work out for a month or two. There'd be times where I would do a new sport, like I did mountain climbing, not actual mountain climbing, you know, in the gym when you climb the, yeah, I just want to make sure I'm clarifying. I ain't doing all that extra special shit, outdoorsy shit. But I ended up doing so many, like small time workouts that really didn't impact, like I was very inconsistent. But the one thing I was consistent on was eating. I was so consistent. It got to a point where I thought I was my own personal chef, and I started cooking fatty foods myself. I started learning how to cook better than a lot of the restaurants that was out there. And then by that time, when I realized I had gotten big, I had, you know, it was already a lot of work. So to kind of preface how I got here, well, I already talked about how I got here. To kind of preface what happened to make me want to change and get in shape, I had a really embarrassing experience. Now, I want to start off by saying my end weight, and I hope that's the biggest I will ever be, was approximately 342 pounds. And that's coming from a guy who quite a few years ago used to weigh around 210. So we're talking over 100 pounds over the course of like 5 to 6 years. Actually might be longer than that. But over the past few years, I was just packing on more weight. And then it actually got worse in 2024 to 2025 because a lot of my work started being online. And I actually had to force myself to take full-time hard labor jobs in order to keep up with the amount of food I was consuming. I'm talking like, if you guys can see the numbers of the amount of money I spent on Uber Eats alone because I was too lazy to cook or too lazy to go out and drive and go get me some healthy food or whatever, it's pretty diabolical. It's like really, really diabolical. So I had an experience sometime in, I think it was August. My mother had a graduation. She graduated and got one of her degrees. And when she got her degree, I decided to go travel with her to go pick it up because it was in Atlanta. I went to the whole ceremony and everything. Now, everything kind of started when I got to the airport. Now, I don't know if anybody travels a lot, but when I got to the airport, I didn't realize how much I had to walk. I didn't realize at all how much stairs I had to climb, how much I had to walk. These elevators were not working for whatever reason. So by the time I got on the plane, I was already kind of winded, which was not a good look considering that I was like one of 5 people who were winded. And then the worst part happened when I had to sit down in the seat on the plane. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I swear airplanes make seats for 12-year-olds. These seats are fucking small. So when I sat down in my seat, I'm sitting next to another big dude, and he's not big as in fat, he's big as in like nigga. So he sits next to me, and he gotta lean all the way to the side because I'm taking up all this space. So it got to a point where not only was he uncomfortable, I was uncomfortable. And then I had one of the most embarrassing things happen. I freaked out. Okay? I freaked out. The reason I freaked out was because I could not fit the seatbelt. My seatbelt could not latch. It would not latch around me. So what ended up happening is I had to ask for something called a seatbelt extender, which I had no fucking clue even existed. I didn't even know they made those things. But apparently you get accommodations for being a plus size person. I didn't know that. But I asked for a seatbelt extender. I had to do the whole rigmarole, whatever. And it was the most uncomfortable, embarrassing, and humiliating experience I had up to that point, because I don't travel a lot. I barely leave the house pop my shoulder. Look, I'm gonna get to the shoulder pain in a second, but everything I do is at home. I take care of all my work at home. I barely have to leave. I'm leaving a lot more now, which again, I'll get into it, but everything is here. Motherfuckers just won't leave me alone. Everything is here. So when I got to the airport and whenever I got on a plane, it was like a super humiliating experience. The part that really got me when I got back home was the fact that my grandfather saw me. He saw me get out the car and he just stopped and looked at me and he said, "Damn boy, you getting big." Now, my granddad don't typically say anything to me about much of anything unless it's like chores or something he needs me to do, or if he needs help in the yard or whatever. So for him to say something like that, that really meant something. That meant I need to get off my ass and like actually do something. So sometime around September and August, sometime around October, I decided, you know what? I'm gonna put my phone on do not disturb because motherfuckers do not understand. I do not care about your feelings right now. Granted, I lost like roughly between 15 to 20 pounds between October. Sorry, no, that's a lie. I lost roughly between 10 to 15 pounds between October to January, but it's kind of hard to count that because if I was to tell you guys how much total weight I've lost between October to up to now, it's easily pushing about 50 pounds easily. And the only reason why I say in total is because for every 5 pounds I lost, I would gain back. I'd gain back easily 4 to 6 pounds. And I'm not even kidding because I was working out, but my diet barely changed. So I would lose weight and I gain that weight back, and I lose weight. And so I plateaued so much. So it got to a point where I started to plateau really heavy because the eating was pretty bad. So like everybody else, when the new year hit, I decided to make some changes. January came, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make some changes. And so I decided that throughout the entire year 2026 and part of 2027, because I did cheat in 2026. So every time I cheat, I add more time. Like quite literally every time I cheat, I add an extra month. And that's yo. What I ended up doing was I gave up all sugary drinks. That includes juice too. Like I do not drink juice. There are very few exceptions, but it's not a lot. Sodas are a no-go. Typical concentrated fruit juice are a no-go. All of that shit is no. I drink mostly water, and I have like a whole fucking shelf full of just like gamer subs that I drink if I can. But typically speaking, anything liquid calories, I avoid that the best I actually can. Another thing that I completely gave up in 2026 is fried foods. I'm not allowed to have any fried food within 2026 and 2027. I did cheat in January, which was crazy that my very first month I'm cheating I'm just a cheating motherfucker, I guess. But my first month in January, I actually ate some like some fried chicken. Sure, come out with the racist Joyce. I don't really give a damn. Because of that, I added 2 months, which is why it's leading into 2027. I added 2 months because I cheated twice in January. But I gave up the majority of calorie filled drinks. I gave up all fried food. And I want to say that the smallest exception is French fries, but it very, very seldomly depends. Like I will only eat French fries on my cheat meal, and that's something else that I'm going to jump into. I can add French fries or bread to my cheat meal, but outside of that, I can't touch any fried food. Bread is also another thing that I, for the most part, gave up. I can have bread on my cheat meal, and then pasta. No pasta. The only pasta I'm allowed to have is like protein pasta or konjac pasta, which if you don't know what that is, I might make a second video talking about like my dieting and how all that has changed and whatnot. But my diet is purely literally just meat, fish, vegetables, fruit, and practically that's it. That's literally practically what I eat mostly. So where I am right now, it is now March, and I've officially lost, not losing, gaining. I've officially lost. From starting at 342, I weigh roughly about 310 right now. So I've lost about 32 to 33 pounds, and it has been an insane journey so far. I could not have been more proud of myself in this journey. I've actually been growing out my hair for as long as I have been on this journey. I started last year. It's gotten to this point. One of the craziest changes that I've made in my life recently was when I was younger. I had like a huge interest in doing bodybuilding and doing martial arts. I've always been interested in martial arts. My best friend, since I kid you not, like my freshman year of high school, is a huge martial artist, and he got me into it at an early age as well. So what I did is I signed up for both Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and kickboxing, and I will be doing both. Mostly kickboxing. I'm leaning a little bit more towards kickboxing, as I'm a little heavy for Jiu-Jitsu. Jiu-Jitsu is, it's not a joke. Jiu-Jitsu is not a joke. If you've never done it before and you're thinking about doing it, yoga, nigga, do some yoga, because the amount of flexibility you need to do that shit, yes. But I am leaning a little bit more to kickboxing. I go back to training on Monday, and I'll be very, very consistent. I've been kind of skipping a few days to kind of work on different things. It's also my brother's birthday today, so I'm not going tonight because I may or may not hang out with him. I don't know, but I'm kind of rambling on. I apologize for people who's watching. I'm just rambling. It's been such a long time since I made content, so it feels really weird to be in front of a camera again. It's gonna take me some time to get used to being in front of camera, but I'm doing both kickboxing and jiu-jitsu. I also go to the gym at least once or twice a day, so pretty much around every single day I'm burning between 1,000 to 3,000 calories every day. Now, some days I don't exercise at all, and those are typically my rest days, but even my rest days aren't necessarily rest days, because I'm always walking my 10,000 steps. It's not a single day, unless I'm sick, dying, or just sick or dying, I'm always doing 10K steps every. There's no rest days from that. There's absolutely no rest days from me doing my walking. And I will admit the scale has been dropping very slowly, but there's been a lot of massive changes in my body, and I plan on making a lot of videos talking about this, but one thing that's not changing is my stomach. My stomach is not shrinking. My face has slimmed down a little bit. You can't see it because of my beard or whatever, but my jawline is a lot more defined now. My shoulders are defining like crazy. Like whenever I flex, this did not pop out as much. This did not pop out. It pops up whenever, like, see, that's normal, and then it was not that big. So actually, hold on, I got a shirt on so you can't see it, but my shoulders are way more defined. My arms are defining a little bit more. You can't see it because of a black shirt, but I can still flex I'm gonna wear a white shirt, so not a white one, maybe a blue one, so you can see me flex my plateaus. Okay. I'm pretty sure that's not called a plateau, but I've gained a lot of muscle mass in my upper body, and then my ass. If somebody had told me that losing weight means you get an instant free twerking ability, I might have refunded that one, because there's no way that nothing is changing in this area, in the belly area, but my ass is starting to look like Cardi B. So that makes no sense to me. I'm actually mad about that. Okay, all that walking and them squats and whatnot, and for some reason my ass look like. Why couldn't it have been a chest? More chest muscle would have been nice. If I can look like Henry Cavill, that would have been great, fantastic. But instead, I'm turning out to be no, my days. I'm looking like a Fortnite character. That's crazy. But I miss making jokes. Oftentimes, there have been a lot of tough times in trying to get back in shape. A lot of trying times. Dating is a lot more difficult now. Not that I'm really trying to date too much. I'd rather focus on myself first. There's a woman I'm very much so interested in, but that's beyond complicated, so I'm not going to jump into that. But oftentimes I will say there are a lot of struggles on the journey that I'm going through. There are a lot of changes that I plan on making. What I really want to do with this channel specifically is I want to add fitness into my channel. As in, I've been watching a lot of fitness videos, and it's been super helping me staying motivated and whatnot. Like right now, one of my favorite movies is Magazine Dreams. I cannot tell you, literally this morning when I was in the gym, I had that one dinner scene playing on repeat the entire time I was just lifting, because that scene was so intense that I love it, and it just kept me going. But typically speaking, I've been watching a lot of motivational videos and whatnot. A lot of people talk about their journey from the beginning, and a lot of people talk about their journey when they achieved the physique that they were trying to get, from the get-go. I want to be one of the content creators that talk about the journey in the middle, talk about the struggles that happen and whatnot, some of the things that have been going on. Also want to use my channel to rant. I got a lot of things that I want to talk about that happened in the past couple of years that I had not posted on YouTube, that I really want to post on YouTube, that I will post on YouTube. And I'm telling you right now, you're probably going to see a lot more unhinged versions of me. I only typically yell in a microphone when I'm live streaming, or when I've been really chill about my content. But now that I'm starting to lose weight, a lot of that unhingedness is starting to come back. I don't feel as lazy anymore. I'm not super lazy about my content anymore, about my work that I do. There's a lot more activeness. I'm a lot more active than I normally am. So I'm pretty excited to be jumping back into YouTube. And I really hope that you guys are willing to join me on this journey, because I am very, very dedicated to achieving one or two goals, or both. My number one goal is I want to be a bodybuilder. I want to do a bodybuilding competition. I'm not trying to win. I'm really not trying to win, but I do want to participate. And if that means that in the next few months I have to up my training to be able to build that muscle mass, then 100% I will. That's one of my goals. The second goal, obviously, is to be in shape, be in the best physical peak condition that I could possibly be in. I want to be able to say to both my children, my future wife, future girl, whatever, that I did that shit and I made myself a better person, not just for them and my future family, but also for myself and then my immediate family, who has been, supporting me from the back and whatnot. There's a very special lady that I've kind of been talking to and whatnot, who's also been encouraging me as well. So I'm very grateful for that. I've had a lot of friends back me up, and I've had more support in this journey than I could have ever imagined. Shout out to my Mozoku people. You guys have also been encouraging me. I've seen a lot of love from that area as well. And I cannot be more grateful to the people who pushed me to come back to YouTube, to the people who pushed me to start working out. It's been a tough journey so far, and it's going to continue to get tougher. And I will talk about my journey even more in detail. But what I want to do is that for every 15 subscribers that I get, I will post a video. And it'll be you guys keeping me accountable as well. So for every day that I don't post a video, that and you see the subscriber numbers climbing, comment on the most recent video and be like, hey, bro, you slacking. And that'll be... I get my notifications pop up on my phone. I see every notification. So at least for now, if it ever gets too much, I'm blocking some of you motherfuckers. All right. But if you guys see me slacking, I want you guys to hold me accountable. I'll be holding myself accountable for a lot of things as well. But I want to hear from the people in my community, and I want to better myself, not just for the people who want to see me succeed, but I want to better myself just in general, so I can actually say that I did it. I have slacked off for years, and so the next few years I will be working hard. Actually, probably for the rest of my life, I will be working incredibly hard on bettering myself, bettering my community, bettering my people. And yeah, that's pretty much where I am right now. That's pretty much where I plan on going. I'm really, really looking forward to this journey, and I hope you guys are willing to join me for it. Yeah, I will probably start a playlist that talks about my journey, my fitness journey and whatnot. And I'll probably, for every 15 subscribers, I'll drop a video. And that's a promise. I don't break promises. At least all the way up to the point where it becomes too much for me to do, I'll still post content. So please like, comment, and subscribe to the video. Let me know that you watched it down in the comments. Give me a shout out, and I promise that I'll keep dropping videos. I'm gonna drop one tomorrow. I'm gonna go through my whole fitness journey. The next few videos are gonna be talking about my fitness journey and everything. So again, thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you guys for supporting me all these years, and do be prepared, as I'm going to be fucking unhinged in a lot of videos moving forward. It's been too long since I cut somebody out, or since I said some wild shit on the internet, and I think it's time for us to come back. So without further ado, you guys know what it is. Thank you so much again. My name is Robert J. Fox, and until next time, which is tomorrow, I'm out. Peace.